I think Jay got so excited he took himself out the show.
No, I did it on purpose. No, I did it on purpose, Andy. I was putting you on the big screen there, trying to show. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, they're very expensive. It's a very expensive mixing board.
My God, Andy, always bringing something to the show, man. We got to keep it going. We got to bring the energy, good vibes, man. I'll be honest, Andy. I'm glad you come on, making me smile. With man, I'm pissed off. I'll be honest. That wasn't a good day yesterday, but I got a couple of plays that I like today, so I'm trying to get some cash. What's up with you, Andy? Let the people know where they can find you, where you do shows, and what you got going over there. Wager Talk, my brother.
Yeah, we had a really good night last night. Like when you're coming out of the All-Star break, it's kind of like getting into a pool. Like, do you dip your toes or do you just like cannonball and go all in? We had 8 plays, 8 props last night, went 5-3, up 4 units. So really, really happy. And man, we had a prop circled on our calendar for today. It's a 5% play. It's up on WagerTalk. Couldn't wait to release that thing. So go grab that at WagerTalk.com. It's one of our favorite props we've had in a while. The spot is beautiful. History is just, it's a beautiful, beautiful play, Jay. Can't wait.
Hey, I like the sound of that, man. I like the sound of that. I'm definitely I'll get on there with you. And you guys can always go check out any handicapper that I have on here from the show, on the show from Wager Talk or Sports Memo. 3 days for $19, man. So use promo code J19 from WagerTalk.com or Sports Memo, and you can get 3 days for Andy's plays for $19. And it's always straight to business on this show, man. Let's get my guy Andy said I had something for every single game, so let's get to it. This first game up, we're going to the streets of Orlando. We have the Magic here laying for a total of 235 here, expected of a fast-paced game. I'm not too interested in this game, Andy, but what do you like in here? You like some of this game?
Yeah, this is a play for tonight, and it's also a long-term approach. So you guys can apply this. So let's take a look at Christian Wood, and his points, rebounds, and assists is 31.5. There's a very clear pattern. When the Rockets get blown out, he sits in the fourth quarter, and this total goes under. But when the game is close, he plays the fourth quarter and he goes over. So in the last 11 games that he's played over 30 minutes, he's gone over his PRA in 9 of those 11 games. So when you got a game that the Rockets you think are going to be competitive in, which I understand is not that many, but tonight against Orlando it could, you're looking at the over. However, when the Rockets are looking at a game that they can get blown out in, just take the under. So it's a very clear pattern with Christian Wood. So wanted to mention that. I think that should help everybody moving forward.
Yeah, that's a good point there. And that's a token. You teach a guy how to fish instead of just giving them fish. You see what I'm saying? They can make money long term. So I really appreciate that, my guy, especially if you guys don't know, Andy is the prop god. And I'm with you on that. This could be a winnable game. I mean, Magic laying 4 at the house. They're terrible at the house. They really should be never laying points ever here. It should be probably a pick 'em type of game. So this is a winnable game for the Rockets here. It's an ugly type of spot. I'm not putting money on this game, but if I had a free play on this game, a free bet, I'd be taking the Rockets plus the 4, possibly even money line. Like I said, they're on a long losing streak coming out of All-Star break. This is a winnable game versus the Magic. Cole Anthony he trying to dunk out there in Tim's. We ain't gonna even touch on that. It's Rockets or nothing for me in that game. Ugly game. Let's go over here to the streets of Indiana. Here we have the Pacers here laying 7.5 versus the Thunder. Right, the Thunder on the back-to-back. They finally got SGA back. Still had Dort out and some guys. I did see that they were questionable for today, so maybe they were just sitting them out first half back-to-back. Not sure here, but I know one thing, Andy. Not laying 7.5 with the Pacers. I mean, don't get it twisted. Anything can happen here, right? Like the Pacers could smack them up, right? Especially if Dort and the guys are still out. But I don't feel comfortable laying 7.5 with Indiana. Total of 226 here, and you see a fast-paced game.
I wouldn't lay any points with the Pacers against anybody. That's insane. There is a prop though. Keep playing my guy Halliburton over 17.5 points. He's gone over 3 out of 4 games that he's been with the Pacers. The game he went under, he had 17 points, so he missed it by a half. The Thunder just gave up 124 points last night to the Suns. So this Indiana team, they are going to play fast. It's a free-flowing. There's a lot of shots, not a lot of defense, and I expect a little bit of the same from the Thunder. So, yeah, take a look at Halliburton.
Yeah, that's a good point. And both of these teams really don't have a lot of centers as well. So obviously you could look towards some board. Someone will go, obviously some of these guys will go over their rebound props. Obviously the Pacers have just a short rotation of centers. So I know you're a prop guy, Andy. I just had to ask you, would it be one of these guys, maybe like Brissett or who do they have running at center?
Batadze goes out there.
Batadze.
He's not a rebounder though. They have his rebounding at 5.5 at -155. No way. But then at the same time, who's going to be doing the rebounding for the Thunder? It's not like that, they're coming in with a big man. So rebounding, it's going to be spread out all over the place. My guess is guards. A guard is going to lead this game in rebounding.
Yeah, that's a good point here. Halliburton might go out for a triple-double or something here, Andy. So, guy's a baller, man. I know Pacers fans are happy to get him over there, but can't wait to see what happens in this game. Halliburton should go bonkers. Let's go over here to the streets of Charlotte here. We have the Raptors already beating up on the Hornets a couple times this year. But, I mean, there's just the Hornets struggle up against really great defensive teams. Now, I did see right before the show started, Andy, that OG Anunoby is out in this game. Do you think that affects the Raptors here? Can the Hornets finally get a win here over Toronto this year?
No. I mean, they're playing bad. They're not playing cohesive. Word is already out. That's not a secret anymore that they really don't like each other. I don't know if anything changes over the break. My guess is probably not. I'm going to go to a team total in this one. Raptors over 114.5. They've played each other twice. Raptors have scored 116 and 125 against Charlotte. The starters for Toronto are rested, and as you know, they play just a ton of minutes. If you're starting for the Raptors, you're getting your 38, 39 minutes. You're not coming off the court. So the Charlotte Hornets are getting a healthy dose of all of the starters and the stars for the Raptors, and Charlotte's just playing terrible. They're horrible against centers. I look for the Raptors to score a lot of points tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Even without OG, they can definitely get it done. I mean, the Hornets they're not a great defensive team, man. Even when they try to lock down and try to get in their defensive stance, they just, after a while, it's just one of those teams that they care about offense more than defense, and that's why they don't win many games. They struggle also against really great defensive teams. That's what the Raptors are. So it's still Raptors or nothing for me. Unfortunately, obviously, OG is out, but it's still only way I could look in this one are the Raptors. But I mean, it's the Hornets, so you never know. They could go crazy from three. You never know with these guys, but definitely Raptors are nothing for me. Let's go over here to the streets of Washington, D.C. We have the Wizards, the Wiz Kids, it's 3-point home dogs versus the Spurs here, Andy. Total of we got 224 here. Should be a fast-paced game the way that the Spurs like to play. They're all offense, don't like to play a ton of defense. Did see that Josh Richardson and Langford were out in this one, and Primo as well. You like some in this game, maybe some DeJounte Murray props?
Yeah, if you want to get on DeJounte Murray, do it now. It's already gone from 38.5 PRA up to 39.5. So if you're going to do it now. DeJounte Murray is another one that if the game's a blowout, they just sit him. I don't foresee a blowout in this one. Of course, with these two teams, you never know. But I'm not taking an under on DeJounte Murray against this Washington Wizards team. He should flourish. So, yeah, I would play him. And then another one to keep your eye on. This is really under the radar. Thomas Bryant for the Wizards. He's coming back from ACL injury, and he's on a minutes restriction. They're not letting him play 20 minutes. So if you look, he'll start, but he won't get that many minutes. So if you can catch him on a really, really good total, they don't have it out, but later today, if they confirm that Brian is going to play tonight, take a look at his under PRA. He just doesn't get the minutes because he's on the restriction.
Yeah, and he's just, I mean, I don't want to just call the grown man trash, but don't get to, he's had some good days in his, you know what I'm saying, times, but it could just be one of those cases where the injuries just really slow him down. But yeah, lately, I mean, whether it's injuries or not, he's been playing trash. So even, yeah, on that alone, Andy,
you get the trash and the injury.
Exactly. That would be a good look in that one. For me, it's Spurs or nothing. I lean the Spurs here. Unfortunately, you don't have the reinforcements. The guys, Rich, I mean, I'd like to have them in there. I still lean the Spurs. They're 6-0-1 against the spread last 7 versus losing teams. These are the type of teams they beat up on. The Wizards are trying to fight for a play-in spot there, but the Spurs, I say, when they get going offensively, it's tough to beat these guys. They have a lot of young ballers over there. Primo was one of them. He won't be in there, but Vassell, well. They obviously Murray, they lost White, but still got some ballers over there, man. It's the only way I could look. Wizards 0-5 against the spread. Last 5 is a home dog as well. So it's the only way I could look. And I trust the Spurs more with off the long break more than the Wizards over there. So I heavily lean the Spurs. I hadn't taken it, but it is one of they did make the short list. Let's put it that way. Let's go over here to the streets of New York. Andy, man, you got the Knicks are struggling, right? It's an ESPN game. Obviously, everyone's on one side, but I can't make a case for the Knicks here. I can't. It's heat or nothing for me. This could be one where everyone's on the one side, but it's probably the right side. What you like in here?
Tricky line. 5.5. That seems low. This is one of those lines where you're like, they know something. They know something I don't, because this is just a gigantic mismatch. Shout out to Kemba Walker. I feel like we're seeing him. I feel like we're seeing the last of him. I feel terrible for the guy. There's nothing you can do when you got an injury like that. So I talked about this one, and the Heat, they're getting healthy at the right time. They got all their guys. And what's the saying? Like, there's only one ball. There's only so many stats to go around. And a guy that's been going under is Kyle Lowry. I love his under PRA tonight. Butler is going to get his. Bam is going to get his. And since he came back from his break, he's played in 7 games. He's only gone over twice. Once was a double overtime game. So throw that one out. He's not shooting more than 10 shots a game. And when you got guys like Duncan Robinson who are chucking it up, you got guys coming off the bench. There's just not enough points, rebounds, and assists to go around. I'd look at Lowry on the under. And of course, my guy, Julius Randle, the over PRA king going into the All-Star break. I haven't seen a line on him, but I'm definitely going to take his over. You got to at this point.
Hey, y'all listen to Andy, man, with the props. He is the guy. Seriously, man. You see, he didn't even really care about the sides. He's like, man, we about to hit some props in this game, and I don't care who wins or loses, man. But I'll be surprised if the Heat didn't win by double digits. Anything can happen. I've seen the Knicks turn up for ESPN type games, but they're not connecting with their coach right now, and that's something that's important coming off a layoff, right? They probably like, man, we were ready to go on vacation. They probably got their feet up, relaxing. So I mean, maybe until they get Derrick Rose, somebody, one of those veterans, get back in there. Randall, he's not doing it for me, like as far as taking the team under his wing. The Heat are a hard-nosed type of team. They're sitting at the top. Well, they just lost the top seed last night. The Bulls took it over, but still, man, the Heat, they're a hard-nosed type of team. That defense should come here and smother these guys, man. The Knicks already aren't a great offensive team. Heat 4-0-1 against the spread last 5 road games. They're 5-0-1 against the spread last road favorites. 4-1 against the spread last 5 in New York. They like the ballers like to go and ball out up there in Madison Square Garden, Andy. So heavy lean to the Heat here, man. I must say this is definitely another one that made the short list. These guys, they 7-2 against spread last 9 versus the Knicks as well over there, man. So I'd be surprised the Heat don't win that one by double digits. Let's go over here to the streets of Minnesota here, Andy. They got the win last night. What are we talking about, right? Everything's about Harden. His debut. They're playing tonight. It's a revenge spot for the Sixers as well, man. What are we doing, Andy?
Well, this is where, previous stats, throw them out the window. Harden just throws a wrench into everything. So you're just kind of guessing. So the way I approach this is, this All-Star break, this is not halfway through the season. We're coming up on the playoffs, and I don't think the 76ers have a whole lot of time to mess around with gelling and lineups. I'm going to take James Harden over his points, rebounds, and assists. I think they have to throw him in and see what they got. Here's the ball, James, because after they traded Seth Curry, we saw that the 76ers really, really struggle with ball handling. I think Harden is going to have to play a lot of minutes, and he's going to be in there. They're going to rotate guys in and out. But in the end, Harden's going to spread out the court because he can shoot threes. He can get to the basket. And my gosh, between Embiid and Harden, they're going to lead the league in free throw attempts, like no problem with Harden and Embiid. And I also got to go with my guy, D'Angelo Russell, over 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That was one of our plays last night. And he went just baller in the fourth quarter, just smoked his points, rebounds, and assists with just his points. Got to go back to him, especially if Harden's going to try and D him up.
Yeah, that'll be a fun one there because neither one of those guys are great defensively. Two lefties going back at it, shooting threes, shooting step back threes, going up against each other, man. So and on defense, they're like, all right, you score and then give me the ball so I can go score again, man. That's their defense. I'm with you. It's crazy that you like Harden go off here because I say that maybe what if Harden brings some energy to the 76ers, right? We see Joel Embiid with a big smile on his face in practice. What if these guys were like, all right, come on, let's go and ball now. They just beat up. I was on the Sixers versus the Bucks there plus 6.5, even without Harden, and this team still got it done. But I'm with you. They did start to lose Curry and Drummond. They signed Willie Cauley-Stein off the street 10-day contract, so they have a backup center right now. Sixers revenge spot, and they lost 121-120 in Philly. That was early season as well, man. They have the rest advantage. Obviously, I mean, it's still just coming off the All-Star break, but still, the Wolves had a big game last night, right? I heavily lean the Sixers here, man. They're 7-2 against the spread last 9 road games as well. Timberwolves, obviously on the back-to-back, 0-5 against the spread last 5 as a dog, 3-6 against the spread, and straight up last 9 this year as on back-to-back. So they hadn't really performed well in back-to-back spots, man. But obviously at the house, I like the Sixers here, guys. I do like the Sixers here. Let's go over here to the streets of Utah, Andy. We got my Mavs here. I have the jacket on. I'm not on the Mavs, but I do have the jacket on. I still lean that way, but the Jazz, they've been hot at the house. They do have the Suns on deck. It's a tough game for me, Andy. You like some props here?
Yeah, if you were on that team, I would take your over, man. Just as a show of respect, I would totally play your over. I have it's a funny one. Well, first off, love the Mavericks getting points here, man. Jeez, it's Jazz. Okay. Jazz can't slow down a small lineup. Here's a funny one. Dwight Powell under 7.5 points. Listen, he doesn't shoot the ball very much, and he gets the Rudy Gobert treatment tonight. The Mavs are going to attack from the perimeter. There's no doubt Brunson and Doncic are going to be doing the lion's share. Powell's going to get a couple baskets, probably on some putbacks, but his job is to just try and slow Gobert down at all possible. My guess is he gets into foul trouble, doesn't play a ton of minutes, and I don't see him getting to 8 points.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. Powell, he's out there for defense and rebounding. He's not out there he's not shooting. I can tell you that. So, I mean, maybe a couple of lobs, maybe some putbacks. But, yeah, I'm with you on that. I know my Mavs team. Yeah, Powell's he may not get 4 points. He may not score. He can get 10 rebounds.
Plays hard.
Maybe some blocks. Yeah. He's out there for hustle, defense, and rebounds. Simple. And like you say, he's going up against Gobert. He may not score 4 points, like I said. But I lean the Mavs here, man. You could have got 6.5, but it's down to 5.5. I worry about them though. I worry about Luka off this long layoff. Obviously still did play in the All-Star game, but I still worry about him as well because he does like to party. Like
how much he's been eating and drinking.
Exactly. He likes to live his life, and the Warriors blew us out. You dig what I'm saying? The Mavs, another thing, the Jazz have been getting hot at the house. If you want to face the Jazz on the road, not at home right now, especially with Mitchell and Gobert. Be interested to see how Mitchell looks because he hadn't played in a while as well. He was out with an illness, didn't even practice over the break here. So be interested to see what happens with that. But we do have a huge look ahead to the next game for the Warriors. So be interested to see how interested the Mavs are in this game. I think they'll be the Warriors smacked us last time. So just y'all know I like looking to the future a little bit. I told you about a game yesterday. We're going to it now. You see the line that's went down. You know what I'm saying, Andy? Just let me start for a sec here. Just a double revenge spot for the Pelicans here. It's not a good game, guys. I always say I'm telling you what I'm betting. It's not always the sexiest pick, but I like the Pelicans today, man. I think this is a winnable game for them or keep this game close. The Suns didn't look well last night. Key note, watching that game, Mikal Bridges got a little injured there at the last minute of the game, man. I'm talking about meaningless minutes, and the final score wasn't indicative of how the game went. The Thunder were in that game, man. I'm talking about I wasn't on the Thunder. I didn't care, but the Suns really blew it open in the last couple of minutes. They really have guys out there handling the ball that shouldn't be handling the ball. This team, they're still a great team, but they're going to miss Paul here in the short future, if you ask me, man. Give me the Pelicans here plus the points. It was at 7.5. I told you guys yesterday I like the Pelicans today. Could have got it at 7.5. It's down to 6.5, going to 6 at one of them. Bridges may sit this game out, man. And all this with the back-to-back with travel as well. Double revenge spot. Willie Green going back to Phoenix. See what I'm saying? They hadn't covered neither one of them already this year. But guess what? Chris Paul, you're the prop guy, Andy. Chris Paul had 18 assists in the first game and then 15 assists in the second one. He was carving them up. He's not out there today, man. They may get Payne back though, but I like the Pelicans here plus the points. It's my top player today, Andy.
I actually think this Chris Paul injury is sneaky good for them going into the playoffs because these guys are going to learn how to play without him, and he comes back, and I think they may up their game a little bit. I got a sneaky play in this one. Suns minus 2.5 in the first quarter. The Suns, the only guy that played big minutes last night was Devin Booker, and he plays fine in back-to-backs. You look at his stats, he has no drop-off. What if the Pelicans come out just a touch rusty? They need to get their legs underneath them after the break. They haven't played in over a week. The Suns, I know they're coming off a back-to-back, but everybody contributed. I wonder if they don't have fatigue. In fact, I wonder if they have got up to game speed. And maybe it takes the Pelicans just a little bit to catch up. Maybe they fall behind in the first quarter. They catch up, get a cover in the second half. But I don't know. Suns to start off hot, and they smashed the Thunder in the first quarter last night, 31-14. So I don't know. Interesting play. I might sprinkle that one.
Yeah, that's a good point. I was thinking about that, Andy, because like I said, I'm a basketball player, and I'm saying, okay, look, maybe the Suns need to shake off some rust, right? But like I said, me just watching that game, I already think that it's a good spot for the Pelicans as well, with the Suns being on the back-to-back, right? So they're not just super fatigued, but still, as far as from an energy standpoint, I see the Pelicans having more energy in this game. I'm watching the practice interviews. This team has been scrimmaging, so while they hadn't had a real game, they still getting some running gun, and they needed that practice, right? Just got CJ McCollum over there, which I do think that with moving Devontae Graham to the bench is going to help these guys out. Jackson Hayes plays really hard every night. So just for me, what I'm watching with the Suns, they do have the Jazz on deck as well. And they're only 4-5 against the spread this year on back-to-back. So they'll at the house, they seem to look down to these opponents. If you ask me, the Pelicans 6-0 against the spread last 6 road games. 4-0 is the last 4 as a road dog here. I think Willie Green really wants this game after already losing 2 to Monty Williams earlier this year. If you guys don't know, he was just an assistant coach on the Suns last year. So I think they want this game. Suns have the Jazz on deck. Maybe not that much focus on this game like the Pelicans are. So anything can happen. The Suns are still a great team, guys. I'll tell you that. They could smack them up, but I'm taking the Pelicans. You don't have to bet the game if you don't like, guys. I always say there's people chirping about the game yesterday, but it happens, man. Last game up, Andy. Lakers versus the Clippers here, man. Obviously, Reggie Jackson with the game-winning shot last game out. Anthony Davis did have 30 points and 17 rebounds in that game, so they're going to miss him here. But what do you think? Can the Lakers get some revenge, or the Clippers continue to own them?
They have LeBron James listed as a game time decision. Like, come on, you just played 36 minutes in the All-Star game. Now you're going to miss like a meaningful game. I'm going to wait for the LeBron James prop numbers to come out. I think they were up last night. I was doing research, and I think it's going to come out around 30.5. I'm not going to take a LeBron under at this point. And actually, if you go back and look, Russell Westbrook, a sprinkle on his over points. His numbers really dipped when Davis got back. Now Davis is out, and the Clippers' perimeter defense isn't scaring me. But the Clippers, listen, most teams don't have anybody to stop LeBron James, but the Clippers definitely don't. So as soon as that point total comes out and I get confirmation LeBron is playing, I'm just going to keep going back to his over.
Exactly. Yeah. Why wouldn't LeBron play here? And that's another thing. If you do like the Lakers, if you like the Clippers, you wait. It'll probably get to 2.5, maybe 3. But I mean, I don't know why he should play in this game, obviously with no AD. If you're trying to chase a playoff spot or play in or whatever, if you're trying to get some wins, I'd see the plays here. The Clippers, they can sneak up on you. But I lean the Lakers here. That's the only way that I'd be looking to play this game. They've lost 5 in a row to the Clippers. Most of those games were with Paul George. You see the last game, obviously it's troublesome that AD really kept them in that game and went off, and they still lost, but it was on the buzzer beater. You see what I'm saying? So this is a nice little revenge spot for the Lakers here coming off the break. They're an old-ass team, but they should be pretty rested here, right? And, I mean, what more rested can you get other than the beginning of the season? So I can see these old guys looking somewhat fresh here. I always say they usually run out of gas in the second half, but this is one where I can see these guys having the fresh legs. And the Clippers, they were hot. Maybe you didn't really want that break to come with how hot they were. So Lakers, I think they should get this win here, and it's the only way I can look, man. Let's get to some free picks, guys. As always, go check out WagerTalk, man. This show is sponsored by WagerTalk Sports Memo. Go check them out. We got a new promo code for all my guys.
Here at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, we would never say it was silly to buy a single play $25 package, but we are darn close to saying just that. Just for J Money viewers, we have discounted 3-day all-access passes for every handicapper at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, who appears on Jay's show from $59 down to just $19 by using coupon code J19. So why buy one play for $25 or $35 when you can get a 3-day all-access pass for only $19? Our new roster of experts is 25 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com or SportsMemo.com, choose your handicapper from the show, and use coupon code J19 when checking out on a 3-day all-access pass, and get 3 days of picks for only $19.
3 days of picks, man, $19. Promo code J19. Please go check it out. Andy, you all right over there or what? Nah, what you like it today?
No, that's an insane deal. I mean,
that's better than 1 day, right?
Well, yeah, and the 5% play alone costs more than 3 days. That's go get that. Seriously, go get that. You'll get the 5% tonight and all plays, and then you get Saturday and Sunday's plays as well. I do other sports, so you guys can see if my capping style fits your portfolio. That's a smoking deal, man.
That's for every sport, right? It's every sport, right?
Yeah.
No, that's for existing customers. You don't even have to be brand new. I think it's a damn good deal, man, especially for guys like the bid. Yeah. Andy might have 40 play. He might have 30. It ain't no telling, man. But no, in all honesty, trying to get to some cash. Andy, what you like? You liking a one prop or best bet today, or what you like today?
Yeah, best bet, Jonas Valanciunas under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This is a really good interior defense of Phoenix. They give up the 5th least production to opposing centers. And so this is a big number. I don't know why they put it so high. He's only gone over this total in 1 game in February, and that was an 18 rebound performance against Dallas. He hasn't scored 20 points in 12 straight games. They've added McCollum. You know McCollum's going to get his points. Brandon Ingram is going to get his production. They've just gone away from him. I don't see him having a good night against this really, really good Phoenix team. Jonas Valanciunas under 32.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Best bet for tonight.
Hey, I hope you cash it, but I'm on the Pelicans. I'm on the Pelicans tonight, man. I think this is gonna be a big, and it could be a big game out of Jackson Hayes. Him getting the start over there. He's been huge for them and taking some shots away from Valanciunas. So maybe that's why he's struggling. But I don't know. Aiden didn't look too good last night, man. So I'm with you. Maybe they shook off the rust, but I'm hoping that Valanciunas runs circles around Aiden, but I still hope you cash your prop though. Maybe he just
get 31, get to exactly. 31 or 32 and a win.
I'm on the Pelicans, man, tonight, plus the points in this one, man. I like them. I don't care what happens with Valanciunas. I like the Pelicans here. I think it's a winnable game. They lose this game by 3 or 4 points at the absolute worst, if you ask me, man. Huge motivation game. I'm sure Willie Green once this one have his players ready. They've been scrimmaging. They got CJ McCollum over there, huge boost offensively as well, man. So I like them here, fading the Suns here on the back-to-back spot with the Jazz on deck. Obviously, without Chris Paul and Bridges, got a little banged up last night as well. Just a little keto. Something I noticed towards the end of that game, it could barely even put weight on it. So see what happens in that way, man. But Pelicans and the college basketball play, man. We're hopping on Penn State, man. It's senior night. You look at this line. Oh man, they were +8 underdogs. They won at Northwestern, won the game outright. Now this line opened up at 1.5. This line is all over the over Penn State. The Nittany Lions. I'm pushing P, man. The Pelicans and Penn State tonight. Let's go 2-0. One time for the one time. Appreciate everybody for tuning in, man. Go check out Andy on WagerTalk. 3 days, $19, man. Get his 5% prop tonight. Let's get some cash. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button, subscribe, and we out.